I think we are live. Hello, hello. Make sure that it's actually working on YouTube. Yeah, looks like we're good. All right. So, been working on just like prototyping the UI pretty much like all yesterday. Just fixing pretty much like any bugs that I found with like the communication or like any type of like effects. And I just wanted to make like kind of like a basic feel of what the UI will be. So I just added like a very simple bar at the bottom here, just kind of represent it. So from what I've tried and what feels really good is whenever you switch to a class, it automatically just assigns the auto attack of that class to your character. When you use abilities, you won't be able to select the ability again until the cooldown's, you know, done. All that stuff. I have it saving the cooldown as well. So when you actually switch and you come back to the class here, it actually will maintain the cooldown state, all that good stuff. What else? What else? Feedback, very important. So like I've been working on just like kind of prototyping how I want the feedback to be for when like you select an ability, use an ability, all that good stuff. Another thing that we have to kind of correct is when you actually like fire a cast, I want the cooldown to actually be something where it grays out the button to kind of like show the player that you can't select it again. And I also have to add in the icons, which these little gray boxes are where the actual icons of the abilities will go. So there's a lot to do, but pretty much what I want to do is just prototype like every single interaction that the UI will have, because behind the scenes with UI, there's a lot that goes on. Like every little like click or just like scroll, whatever, has to have some indication that it's doing something, or else it's just like, you know, bad UI. So the fact that like the only thing that happens when you actually cast an ability is it just like shows the cooldowns pretty bad. So I want there to be more feedback there, which is actually what I'm currently working on and was working on before we started the stream here. So just try that out. Right now I'm linking everything up to delegates, but later on I'm going to be switching it over to a new model. For prototyping, for me, it's a lot easier to set it up this way, because now I'll have like all the information of what needs to communicate with what, and what animations do I want to be played during like the whole process. So this is just a lot easier to work with this way. So it's showing that it actually should have displayed the animation, which that could be one of two things now. Possible I do not have the animation set. Yesterday I just made some very quick feedback animations for the buttons. So we just have like cooldown and stuff like that. Yeah, ability cast, it doesn't have anything. What do I want for this? I actually want this ability here, or like the way that this looks is how I actually want it to be. So I might actually take this animation and just switch it with the other. Hold on. Forgot the goddamn name of the animation. Yeah, the naming convention of these icons are a bit different too. Hey, I'm here to check your code. All you're gonna find is just delegates at this point. I'm here to check your code. Oh shit, the sheriff's in town. There's no hard-coded input to this though, so I think I'm clean. Shit, I'm not firing off the Huh. That is weird. Oh, it's ability widget. We need this one here. Ability casted. Can you show the full screen of that just to see the ratio? When you say full screen of what? The editor or the this here? I could like zoom in on this. Oh, the ratio? The scale should be relatively the same, because it's wrapped in a scale box. The size, I actually don't know what I want the sizing to be of this quite yet, so the sizing of the buttons might be pretty off from what it actually would be. Hi there, any tips for beginners? I've been trying to learn Unreal and C++, but the tools for C++ seem so much worse than other languages. Am I missing something? Oh no, you're not missing something. C++ is a very old language and it gets updated frequently. But yeah, it's like the tools that are out there, honestly, like following courses that relate the two things. So like if you took a course on like C++ and Unreal Engine, that would probably be your like best bet. So you can fit both of them into like kind of one space. It's quite big. Oh yeah, it's eating up a lot of space, and I think the one thing that I don't like too much is the actual naming being underneath. When we actually have the final UI in place, which I was like doing prototyping on how I want that to look as well, it'll be smaller and I want to make it a bit more compact. But I was doing like mock-ups of like how I want it to look, and I was like, I wonder what the feel would be. Something like this, but probably a little bit more, like, a little smaller here. Can you recommend any? Yeah. There's a couple courses actually. There's a Discord link in the description of the video, or should be, and it has a Unreal Engine resources section. I have a couple courses in the top of that section that are pretty cheap, that do a really good job teaching. They are Udemy courses as well. Looks cool. Yeah, I like, so the theme kind of matches what I want to go for, and I like the texturing as well. Like the actual texture on the health bar, and then the experience bar being like a cleaner, kind of like slate, I think looks like super, super nice. I think the only thing I want to do is add a little bit more to the background here for the top button, and then I probably want to like shrink it down and then put this at the bottom. Is that a mask? It's going to be. Right now it's like this, like Canva itself has a ton of like texture materials that you can use. So right now it's actually kind of just an element, like it's something you can just move around to place on stuff. But I just like literally placed it on this and scaled it up to get an idea of how I want it to look. But it will be a mask. Yeah. Yeah, this isn't entirely finished, but it's going to be something roughly like this. I want to fit as much information in this like section as possible and keep it as small as possible, because like with first person games, every like centimeter of space on your screen is super important. In third person and like sky view games, it's not as important because you have like a bigger picture of like your surrounding area, where first person you don't have that luxury. I would recommend a generic C++ course at first, because an Unreal Engine can get quite suffocating at first. Yeah, it can be. I think Steven, the guy that does the gas course, actually made like a very beginner-friendly C++ course that teaches you like the fundamentals of C++ first, and then it shows you like how those are used in Unreal Engine afterwards. So I think his course might actually walk you kind of like through those stages of like getting into it. I haven't taken that one personally, but I've heard really good things about it from people that don't have programming experience. Yeah, as long as it teaches you the fundamentals first before it teaches you the macros, it should be very beneficial to you, because the macros of Unreal, holy shit. They are really confusing at first, but they make sense once you like really get into it. The UI here, when it casts, it actually is not calling this one function, I don't believe. This is what I was looking into. What I lack is professional design patterns, kinda. I just code what I feel works. Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat. It's called cowboy coding, what a lot of people call it. I think my biggest problem is I will code something to like prototype it, right? But the way I code it is like, I don't want to say super lazy. It's just not really clean. And then like, I guess I'll go back afterwards and clean it up that way. But like right off the bat, I should definitely just focus on commenting and making cleaner code. Because sometimes I forget to go back and fucking clean it. So then it's just like, it just sits there for a while until I'm like, oh shit, what does this do again? And how do I fix it? Yeah, this should be getting bound. gonna come with experience though, Glenn. Me and you both. We'll get a lot better at it. Dart.js, PHP, etc., but no experience in C++. Honestly, the syntax doesn't look that bad. What's killing me is having to clean and rebuild every single line you had. Oh yeah, welcome to C++ compilers. I came from JavaScript, so I understand the weird feeling of having to do that. Also got to change a couple of the keybinds too. Some of them are pretty annoying. It is calling it. But that means something else is blocking this from happening then. Like, this is definitely getting called now, right? I'm gonna look for just this specifically. Started to read an interesting book suggested by a game development school here in Belgium, where game patterns are explained and it's free. It's free by mistake of the author. Posted it in the Discord. Okay, I'll post the link up in the actual Discord, or you can upload it in the resources section as well. I mean, if you have like any information that you want to like provide, it's not necessarily a Discord about this channel. It's more so a Discord where we just share resources. Oh, wait a minute. Did I fucking... Wrong function. I'll have a look. Yeah, I mean, take anything you want in there. I always say you never have to like stay in the Discord at all, because it's not really like something I use for advertising. It's more so like everyone just like posts shit that they find that can help other people. You posted in the CPP resources? Sweet. Shit. Live coding finish? Looks so. Yes, it did. Okay, so something is overriding my animation. Is that happening here? Or did I spell its name wrong? Because I know there's two things happening when this actually goes down. This could be overriding it. Actually, there's a couple of things. I'm gonna get rid of the on animation, or like go on cooldown animation thing. It's gonna have it only play this casted animation instead. Event queue. Oh, is that just like it makes it so like certain delegates can't like overlap each other? Something like that, I'm assuming. When I see the word event, I immediately think of delegate. Uh-oh. Okay, that was just live coding. Shit, I actually didn't notice if it played it. Oh, it's playing the wrong one. That's cute. Okay, so I mean, we're getting closer. What that means is I'm passing in the wrong value. I believe it's because one goes by indices, the other goes by input. So if I just did this, this actually should fix that. Inputs are events too. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying now. Event queue, so basically input queue, so you can do input buffering on abilities. And I like that shit. Johnny, come in here again and say nice hat and I'm banning you. Yeah, newest adds to the back. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I like. I feel like in high latency games too, that will be a godsend for players with terrible ping. Alright, we should have the correct one now. I'm also going to speed up casting animations too. I think just like a little bit. There is a little delay on them, which isn't great. Alright, now we have the casts lining up. Depends on how bad the ping is. Oh yeah, I mean it always depends on that. The game, currently right now we actually have something that allows like players even with like 200 ping to have like pretty accurate prediction for projectile spawning. So we have something that can actually slice off a pretty decent chunk of time for them. And it's actually something we're using outside of gas. My aim wasn't so bad, this will look a lot better. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good. It's able to record everything too. When I was like looking for a way to like save cooldowns and everything without having to go to like gameplay effects, there was actually a pretty interesting way that somebody had done it before, and that's kind of what I used for this, where they would actually create pre-existing deadlines for expirations of cooldown, and then it would check to see what the current time was in comparison to it. Uh-oh. That's not good. Doesn't really matter that much though. So we're making these things called active cooldown handles, which it just saves the time that the cooldown should expire at, and then like this is just saving the class tree of it. So when we're rotating through when we're rotating through our class trees, we're able to see if it should have expired, and what the remaining time should be compared to the current time that the character has. And we're not going by the character's time in game, we're actually going by the server time, which is synchronized for each character at like a certain frequency. So we're basically taking the time that this ability should be off cooldown, and when we rotate through to the next class tree and we come back to it, it will load that time. Let's see here. Yeah. So when we update the bar, it'll grab all the active cooldown handles that we have, and these actually match the indice of the spells widget at the bottom. So we're able to like match one for one, kind of like you would in like an ECS, and go through and see if they have their time expired or not. And if they don't, we then update their current state in the cooldown. I actually already checked that this works. I can get rid of a lot of these guys. Yesterday, dude, it was driving me up a wall because my shit was getting garbage collected. And I was like, oh great, why is this happening? Luckily I was able to fix that. We didn't run into that problem again. Oh, I do want the defaulted one there. Turn my AC on. Hot as shit today. All right. See, when these go on cooldown, we actually want to gray them out, which should already be a thing. Oh, I had it linked to this. Okay, I see what I was trying to do before. Yeah, I didn't want the colors to change until that animation finished, I think is what I was doing. Probably want to change that now, though. So now this should actually gray out the abilities once they're used. Oh, damn. Now that I think about it, we actually want this for when we set them back onto cooldown as well. So when we actually continue it, because we're not playing an animation here for when it's continued. A lot of this is going to get changed in the future though, with the new system. Yeah, now they're grayed out. They are not playing the animation for when they are on cooldown though. There should be something that basically stops the character from selecting it, and then it should play an animation showing that the ability is still on cooldown. Oh, that's this one. Damn it. Okay. Probably working. I just commented out the wrong animation, it looks like. Still trying to wake up. Okay. Oh, still not going. Okay. Let's see where this is actually happening then. Am I just not calling this? Guess not. Dude, I swear to God, yesterday I set this up to actually call this function. Must be going crazy. Actually really weird. Yeah, I had a dream about it. Oh no, right here. Actually faster for me to just go in and manually search for it. Oh, I just never actually found the delegate for it. Let's do that then. Fuck are my bindings? Definitely just passing them. Okay, let's bind this. Create this function. What the fuck did I name the function? Oh, I didn't create it, did I? I mean, it's only going to be playing this animation. We might be able to get away with it. Dude, Visual Studio today has been probably slower than it's been in a very long time. And I forgot how annoying it can be with how behind it gets. And I swear I double checked to make sure none of my shit was active extension wise. I could probably fucking push the problem down the trail by getting more RAM. I think when the latest AMD processors come out, I'm probably going to get a new one. Upgrade to the newest chipset that they have, or socket type, I mean. I think they're coming out in like November or something. Uh-oh. What we got here? Ability widget 98. Oh, I'm a dumbass. Got it. The fuck? Delegate handle. Gotcha. Yeah, I definitely need a new processor though. One with more cores. I can compile even faster than I am now. Because this shit, when we get later into the project, is going to take fucking ages. Okay. When we cast, we try to select it again. Nothing happens. Got it. Let's see why. Are you even calling my animation? Once you get Rider, you never go back. Dude, everybody tells me that. But like the thing is, Rider is a good, you know, IDE. So if I switch to something good, that means I don't have any more excuses that I can give as to why my shit isn't working. At least with Visual Studio, since it's fucking hot garbage, I can at least blame this partially for my incompetence as a programmer. See the game I'm playing? This isn't actually called, is it? I never actually did the execute portion of this. Yeah, that's it. God fucking damn it. On cooldown, gotta go here to do this. Here you are, beautiful. I'm gonna make sure that you're executed if bound. Don't want to cause any crashes that I can't fucking log. What do we put in here? Fuck, that's a good question. I'm not actually retaining. Oh, no, I am. have it set here. Now, when is it getting reset though? We want to know what is happening to this variable before we try to do something. It's getting reset after you, yeah, after use. Okay. Gotcha. So we can use this as the parameter we send through our delegate then. And then you are getting called in our casting component. And then we should reset the cast input ID once this happens. Unless we're already doing that in our cleanup. You return a bool. Reset cast. No, I don't think we're actually doing this in our cleanup, but we should be doing this in the cleanup. 15-year versus user rider isn't perfect. I have to go back to VS because of the debugger. Sometimes rider sucks at debugging. I will say one thing. I do appreciate the debugger that Visual Studio gives as a free tool. It is pretty fucking good when you're trying to track down like any type of variables that you want to watch. And breakpoints are something to rub your nipples about, let's just say that. Maybe I'm getting too excited about it. I think we should be good now. I should reset that though on the character though. But right after we actually call this delegate, let's reset that casting input ID. We don't have to call reset cast. Ooh, actually, I have a better spot for it. Technically already doing it here. Just call it at the end here for now. I'm gonna join all these together once we have the system down pat. I'm gonna come back and refactor pretty much all of this casting because a lot of it is using a very outdated spell casting system that we have. So a lot of it does need to get gutted, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and we're prototyping something else, so I'm not touching this shit today. Because, yeah. We want to make sure one thing works before we go on to something else and break it. That casting component is a fucking beast to get into. It's like 3,000 lines of code, and some of it's just pure bullshit. From when we did our first prototyping of spellcasts. There's no better debugger, you gotta give it to Microsoft. That's what I like to hear. So, I know you said Rider is amazing, but like you said all the other things right after that, that just like ring with me. So I can just like continue on avoiding Rider. That's all I need to hear, my selective hearing. Alright, live coding. Did you do your job yet? No. Almost there, though. Gotta give it a second. Alright, now we should have our cooldown animations playing. fuck it. Oh baby. What do we get? Array out of bounds, 255 into an array size of 9. Yes sir, that's an uninitialized UN8. Where you at? Does it tell me a line? No, it just gives me that shit. Oh baby. Well, there's only one spot that could be happening. We should send a copy over for that delegate, shouldn't we? Because I think it's getting reset after it's actually being used. So let's be a good person and probably do that. Ooh, actually... No, it's not this. It's something else. Where we just did that cleanup, let's remove that. I think that's exactly where it's having an issue. And this is why we gotta come back and clean this up at some point. I actually don't even think resetting it matters, because whenever you complete a cast anyways, it clears a lot of the variables that are used for casting anyways. The cast input parameter is pretty much only used for UI updates, if anything. So it's actually not too important. We're going to be canning it anyways. As soon as I like finish up prototyping and I have the field that I want, we're going to be moving it over to a new modeling system anyways. I just want to quickly get a good read on how I want this to look. This is why I need more cores. That parallel execution of compiles. I also am using the GitHub version, so like my own compiled version of Unreal Engine, so I can make changes to it. And right off the bat, I noticed an immediate difference in speed with compiling. So I might make the change and go back to the other version, just because this is definitely slowing down like production time. And the only reason I downloaded this version of the engine anyways is so I can make dedicated servers. Oh, and to fix this one chaos physics bug that I found and was really pissing me off, so that's my contribution to the engine, fixing that. I actually gotta submit the request to put in that that fix for it. I'm tired of that event break delegate getting sent like 40 times on one break. I have to use like an internal boolean to make sure that it only triggers once, because if I don't, it like crashes my game. Okay. Now, we shouldn't have that array out of bounds. What I actually could do as well is put a clamp on it. Yeah, put a clamp on it so it never does that ever again, which would probably be a very smart thing to do in hindsight. Oh, wiggling, but it's not in the right spot. We're halfway there. It runs off of indices. While I actually have that thought of clamping it, let's do it. Need to go here. Shift F12 onto this guy. It should bring up where this is actually being bound so I can jump to it. Taking too long, I'll do it myself. There it is. Yes, this right here. You want to clamp this bitch. 0 and 9. And the reason I put 9 is because if it is trying to send over 255, which means it's an uninitialized value, I will probably put something in here to change that. Do I clamp it before it gets sent? And then just stop the broadcast? I could do that as well. Having everything right here, though, is pretty centered, so it's easier to maintain that. I don't know where all the executes are happening. That's the problem. But I know that they all route to this place. So you know what? Let's do it. Man, maybe we actually don't have to do a clamp. We could probably do something like this. UN8s cannot be negative, so we're safe to do it this way. This is less than 9. It goes through. And if it has an issue with that, what we'll do is we'll print out what this is. They're all pretty much going to work like this too. Yes. I don't think I have any more delegates bound here. This one is like completely different. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, we're good. Okay. Regular. Oh no, you're building a software as a service with Docker. That brings back fucking nightmares. Is this even used anymore? Gotta get rid of some of this shit. At least from the old casting system. Apparently this is used in Anim Instance. It is. We're updating this continuously, it looks like. I'm gonna get rid of it and just set the default to false. Where are you at? I'll go back and remove you later once I go into the actual animation blueprint itself. But with that being said, so long and goodbye. Kebab sandwich? What are you even saying, my friend? This is fine. I like keeping variables at the top though. And then functions below. Also handles too. Oh, what the fuck? Is that just a visual bug? That was weird. Yeah, that looks fine. Man, I can't wait to go back and refactor all this shit. I find that more enjoyable than actually coding, if I'm being honest. Alright, let's break the game. Called Doner Kebab. It's straight fire. Sounds fucking good. But whatever it is. Your code base is a heaven on refactoring. That hurts my feelings just a little bit, but I know it's true. A lot of it is just really old code where I'm just like, why did I write it this way? Like old and new systems coming together. A beautiful chaos that I've just been like writing for 200 days. We don't want to talk about that part though. I will say though, there are some sections where I went back and refactored and it is pretty clean. Uh-oh. Failed at live coding. What did I forget? Almost like you forgot you could use parameters. Some of them, yeah. Oh, you're saying like for like these specific like specified ones? All right, to be fair, these are the inputs that we created, which I will update to the new system. I will say this, I heard this from the godfather of C++ himself, where like you only have one function do one thing, and like even if it's like something really small, it makes your code just like so much cleaner by just having like this. It just says what it does, that's it. I just plop it right in. Nothing. It's great. Are you talking about like these ones where it's like play this, play that? And I need the shower after working on it? Yeah. So I will say before I did do that where I put a parameter for everything. But when it came to like visual and like sound effects stuff like this, it became like super tedious to maintain it all. But like these one-off functions where it literally only does like one thing like this is why I do it this way. Some of them though I don't have an excuse for, but we're not going to talk about that. Yeah, we're just not going to talk about that part of it. Missing one principle though. Hit me with it. A class should have one job. Oh, I absolutely agree. I need to make a lot more components for my actual like base class for my character. Definitely. I started to in the beginning, but I was like, huh, maybe I'm not really going to do this this part too much. And it turns out that I expanded a lot more than I thought I would. I created the casting component initially because I was like, oh, all casting work is going to be here. But it turns out there's more to it than just that. I mean, honestly, like, if you want to, like, get into the, like, breaking down classes into more structure, like, if you want to hop in, like, a Discord call someday, and we could just, like, graze over some things, if you want to give me pointers on cleanup, like, dude, I am all ears. Again, I'm not, like, I'm not set in stone on a lot of what I do, and I'm always looking to improve. So if there's like words of wisdom that you can share to help improve, then like by all means. And then do the composition principle, aka class having object of another class. Class having an object of another class. Composition inheritance, for sure. Yeah. I used to do... It was actually like a really big problem where I would make like base classes for things so it could like actively communicate with one another. But the children that I made of those classes became a little bit crazy. I think my spell folder alone had like 14 different like spell types or something within like a hierarchy. AKA class having an object of another class. See it as components on an actor, that's composition. So when you're saying like, when you're saying that, for instance, are you saying to like what's the word for it? Basically like group things together within an actor? Yeah, no, hit me with it. Shit, there was something I was looking for and I put a search in for it, I'm pretty sure. Yes, this shit. It was the invoke wheel parameter. Character as an object from class audio manager, where everything from audio is located. Gotcha, okay. Okay, so kind of like how I made a component for casting and like I create it in the constructor, and now like this class has a component that just does that one thing, like this casting component. Like this handles all spell casting and setting. So I have one for the casting comp, and then I have one that handles like equipment as well. Which that's like fucking, that's in like super early stages. And then I have one for like my interactions too. So those are kind of spread out. Now I will say the base character class has a lot of like built-in like audio. So I mean, I technically could make like an audio comp that handles like all of that and move everything over to there. And then I could also probably make like a component for handling visual effects for combat and just for spell casting, more than likely. I think those are like the biggest things that I can think of. And then I probably can move all the spell casting features over to the casting comp entirely. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot that can be moved around. It's more so, it's not that like, I want to say I wouldn't know how to do that. It's more so finding the time to do that. I think my, the way my brain works is I'm so like gung-ho on like creating different features and then testing them out and then coming back to refactor them. And then I'll think, oh man, I'm going to make this other thing. And then, I mean, yeah, you just get into the spiral of like, I guess like a feature drain where you're just like basically clogged up with a bunch of ideas that you want to do. Then having an interface connected to the player where you have, for example, a function get sound manager. Then in character itself, you can return that object. Okay. Oh yeah, I mean, so interfaces, yeah, for sure. Thinking of like audio for that. So I think we have currently the gameplay ability system handling a lot of the sound effects stuff already. I'm not trying to ignore your sandwich. I'm just in a very a deep conversation about coding. Not trying to ignore your friend. I'm sorry. Then your code is decoupled. Yeah, I mean, it makes total sense. Your sandwich has feelings. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, you're basically saying that like every class should have its like own job, and there should be no dependencies from one class to another, which I know is like the basis for like C++ coding and like why it was created. I mean, it's object-oriented programming in general. But the problem is starting a project and then not, I guess like going into this, I didn't really have like an overall plan of what I wanted to do. I had an idea and I started learning the like gas system from day one. So I guess like not having prior knowledge of gas and then jumping into it, I guess in the beginning was harder for me to know what should go where during that time, because I didn't know if I'd have to change it again. So I guess I got caught into that kind of trap. But it's a tip on how to proceed. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a good way to do it. I might have to take a week off of streaming to like focus on refactor and break everything down. I started working on like the gameplay ability system, like the actual GAs, and breaking those down into data tables so I can maintain everything from a single data table. And that worked pretty well. Because now I'm able to actually specify damage and everything within like a single file and create new abilities for the characters without having to go in and change everything around. Post the 5 required spectrums of solid code. Dude, hit me with it. If you want to post it in the Discord section, I'll check it out. Again, I'm always looking to improve, because there's always a better way to do something. Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, I probably had like maybe a year's prior experience with C++. So over the course of the past 200 days, I've definitely learned a lot more about it. Open closed principal software entities should be open for extension but closed for modification. Subclasses should be replaceable with their base classes without breaking the program. Yeah, okay. Interface segregation. Clients should not be forced to depend on interfaces they do not use. Dependency inversion. High-level modules should depend on abstraction, not on low-level modules. I think I fit a couple of those already. The single responsibility model is definitely up for debate, though. That's for sure. Because it feels like my Invoker character is a Amazon warehouse employee, where they have to do pretty much everything on their own, and they get paid like hot garbage. God damn it. I even think Liz Cobb would fall as well now. Subclasses should be replaceable with their base classes without breaking the program. I think a majority of my subclasses would probably fall fine under that. I know my spell classes should definitely be fine. Mainly because I only use the base class for referencing or using pointers for spells when creating them, or like getting any info from them. Because the base class pretty much has everything. The subclasses for them only have like very specific information to them. That's not really dependent on anything else. They kind of just work independently. Okay, now that's actually like correctly modifying its own value. Yeah, I mean, single responsibility is definitely the biggest fault. As I said before, like when creating classes or like creating components, I think way too small in terms of what the actual scale will be in the end. and I hone in or tunnel vision on one single feature, and I'm just like essentially creating like a modification to, let's say, like the character class, where I'm like, okay, well, the character class will just like communicate a little bit with it for this one specific thing, and that's it. Because, you know, at the time it's like easy to do so, but long term it probably isn't the best way to handle that situation. There are a lot of other cases where interfaces would probably be ideal replacements for that type of communication. Do you have many interfaces now? I think I have 3 or 4 of them. One for communicating with all other like widget actors in the world. So for instance, if we go here, where the hell is my maps? I don't have it set to my favorites. 1 second. That's low. Yeah. Yeah, I just, I don't find, and maybe this is just like lack of knowledge on like interfaces and like the amount of power they have, but I always hear how slow interfaces can actually make your program, versus not using them if there's only like one kind of like wall in between just calling the function directly or not. But yeah, like I have interfaces for communicating with like objects and everything in the world through like line trace and everything. So that works. I have ones for communicating spells with each other when they interact. I have another one for, I believe, certain event boxes or collisions that I've set up as well. I think you see interfaces like some people look at casting. Oh no, but I have, the thing is I have proof about like how slow interfaces are. Now, in the grand scheme of things, yeah, they probably will work a lot better. And it's just probably because I don't use them as much. But I've read so many articles about interfaces, and I think it just shunned me away from using them for everything. When I only see like a low barrier to entry for calling functions. But again, I mean, I'm open to, like, I'm not closed-minded on anything programming related. I always liked learning. So if you have like any information on interfaces and like their performance, like, yeah, I mean, definitely send it. I've just heard so many things about Unreal Engine's interfaces that just, I don't know. It just can cripple the performance of your game. But I guess you are right in the sense that like I probably see interfaces like some people see casting, where I don't really mind doing casts too much. One class implementing one interface is a perfectly valid strategy for designing a class library, as long as the users of your class have no direct access of implementing class. Yeah, I think I had a in one of my past games I did something similar where there was like a kind of like a grand interface that was implemented in pretty much everything so they could all actively communicate. That wasn't too bad. This kind of looks like a giant fucking hat in my statue, but it's just my giant light fixture. Yeah, I mean, Glenn, if you want to hop on a like a Discord call and go over, or like get ideas and like share perspective on like what you think would be a better way to do things, you know, I'm definitely all ears. You definitely have many years on me in C++ coding, that's for sure. I only have maybe 2 years at this point, roughly. Yeah, I would probably stream my screen on Discord and show you everything and kind of break down like what I have set up and why I have set up that way, and then get your perspective on it. Yeah, so character just has pretty much what you said there. It has like base classes for setting like very small things, and like some getters to like attributes and stuff. It also has some visual effects on it for like dying and stuff like that. Yeah, so character has movement. It also has components for equipment and combat. The combat is moved to its own component where it basically checks... It basically gathers all the information a spell will need to cast, and then it will check to see if it's allowed to cast or not too. You could push movement onto the controller. Oh, are you saying like the actual inputs themselves, like the enhanced inputs? Even the functionality. So like... So even this here too, like for a look, for instance. Weird. So the reason I say this part here, so this is like, or at least, why does like every example project that I've seen have it on the actual character itself, if this should be on the controller? Oh, we don't look at this because this is from before. Because they don't separate code. So even like I think the gas example project even has it that way. Not Lyra. Actually, I don't know how Lyra sets up their stuff. You've seen projects that have like character at like 2,000 lines? Yeah. I mean that's mine for sure. It's actually a lot worse before. Want to keep the character light? Yeah, I understand that. That's mainly why I moved the casting to the separate component, but I want to move everything else off of it too. I guess the ending goal would just be the character itself would just have like some getter variables about like their current like velocity and shit like that. Or maybe like getters to like some of the components that are actually connected to it. But even then, you could probably just cast for the component on it instead. Oh yeah, this one's actually kind of misleading. I think the problem is a lot of this was made so soon into development when I was still trying to learn how to do gas itself. And I just haven't touched it since. This actually isn't even used. I don't even think. Like this function here, I just made this like initially when I was testing out making attribute sets. But I see your point. Yeah, dude. I mean, a lot of... So, like... I know I say it a lot, but, like, a lot of this stuff was, like, made before I even knew how to use gas. So I was, like, testing stuff, like, relentlessly. Oh, this is actually part of an interface already. I just left these functions here for God knows whatever reason. When are you free? I'd love to hop on Discord and like actually like talk to you about it. I mean, if you're willing to do it, or if you want to. Not saying you have to. That's totally fine. I mean, any material you have on, I guess, class architecture, if you want to post that up in the Discord, I'll probably read into it a lot over the next like coming week, and I might take a pause on developing any UI stuff further until I get that corrected. After them, I have a lot of free time. Yeah, and I don't want to like use you or anything like that. That's kind of fucked up. I know your time is valuable. You look like a very digested Oreo. Yeah, it's probably the white t-shirt. Give you some examples in Discord. Yeah, there we go. I'll make you proud. I'll clean up this function. I think I'll take a stop on developing the UI further, and I'll go back and refactor all my code and make it more cohesive and less dependent. Hello, how are you? Yeah, I might take a pause and do the, or start the actual refactoring now. I mean, to be fair, prototyping is pretty much done. The only thing left that I have to do in terms of prototyping is making sure that there's no bugs with the cooldowns themselves. But yesterday I did a lot of work on actually stopping that. And all the interactions work pretty well. But now I feel more inspired to do refactoring than I ever have. Also, a lot could be used from the link earlier that I posted with the game params. Okay, I mean, yeah. I try to soak up information like a sponge as much as I can. I'm kind of like trying to just take like an accelerated program on Unreal Engine development or C++ in general. I think over the past 2 years, I've probably taken like, I don't know, like 2,000 pages of like notes or something on like random systems. Just like self-study. So I always like to hear other people's perspectives on that kind of thing. Especially if you have like industry experience, it's like super important to learn from anybody like that. And I believe you said that you work for a studio. Self-study as well? I thought you said you were going to college for it. Are you saying you study outside of college too? Because I mean, shit, that's devotion, man. Good on you. I don't even think I asked you, how long have you actually been coding in C++? Since 27, yeah, okay, so you have a lot more experience than I do. Okay, yeah. For some reason, I thought that me and you started around like the same time in learning this stuff, but no, you have like, you have like 5 years, maybe 6 years experience more than me. Holy crap. All self-study at first. Yeah, I mean, I did like web development shit beforehand, and I'm not gonna lie, not for me. In uni, there's no C++. That's weird. They don't teach C++ for computer science or anything anymore. I'm just like killing this guy repeatedly, but yeah. Oh, also, I just saw that fucking spark. That means that something isn't set at simulated position. Never did. Wow. Dude, I talked to so many people, like older, like an older generation of like programmers, and maybe it was just like the hype, but back then they were teaching C++ or at least C, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, I believe. So I guess like what colleges do is they teach the most language in demand for the time, I would imagine. C++ is older also. Yeah. Yeah, I'm noticing a trend with people, depending on their age, like what they teach in college. And now I'm like developing a theory in my head that they're probably teaching the most in-demand language for the current time, which means that people learning C++ probably will have a an easier time finding work later on. But fingers crossed on that. That Niagara effect actually needs to get fixed, or I forget about that too. Let me phrase it how they look at it. What do you got? We use programming in order to test our mathematics skills. That'll be this thing, right? Oh no, that's the isolated ground. There's one emitter that's actually spawning that particle in the beginning. This one here. Correct set. If it's direct set, is it using local space? It is not. Also a CPU sim. Ugh. Are these also direct set? This one isn't. That's fine. Still serious? Get a happy face, dude? Oh, I can't, man. I was up way too late programming. I stayed up so fucking late last night working on like UI stuff. Which of course Python and Java are the best ones to use. Dude, I love Java when I was learning it. It sucks that it's so fucking slow. Fucking Eclipse IDE. Did the fucking blizzard spell actually... Yeah, it did. Okay. It's spawning at the correct spot. What the fuck? Interesting. Huh. Oh, I have him isolated. God damn it. Love from Pakistan. Hey, appreciate you, bro. Much love to you for tuning in. Today hasn't been like ultra productive. It's actually been kind of just an easygoing day where we're just looking at some changes I made. Kind of going with the flow. Whenever I open up Discord with like OBS running, I don't know why, but sometimes it actually crashes OBS, so I have to be quick when trying to check messages. Class patterns, factory, adapter, template. Yeah, I remember reading, or when I was learning Java, they used a really good example with like a warehouse and everything, and I'm pretty sure that's like the example they usually teach when teaching OPP or object-oriented programming, OOP. Image should give you a better idea. Yeah, I need flowcharts in my life for a lot of things that I do. Both proxy and composite I use a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna look at that chart when I'm doing the overall refactor, and I think right now, I'm gonna be honest, right now, after like redoing combat and then redoing how spellcasting is done, this is probably the first time I feel like very comfortable with the direction of both those things. So I don't think they're going to change again anytime in the future. So I think now more than ever is probably the best time to actually do the full like refactor of the classes that I have. There's just way too many things that are that were created before this from like the first build that I just have not gotten rid of yet. Yeah, I think if I tried to do this like whole refactor beforehand, it wouldn't have went great just because of how many changes have been made in the past like 100 days alone. We've actually redone the UI twice now, but like this time it actually feels like a lot fucking better. No more radial wheels or like combos to like generate spells. It's actually just direct set, so it's just so much faster. You just got 9 keybinds that you have to memorize, and then you have 2 other classes that you can just cycle in and out of. usabilities. Feels good. Feels really good. Yeah, I think the rest of the day I'm pretty much just going to work on that part of it. Fuck, I missed. Not gonna lie, guys, I think I might end the stream and go a bit crazy on the refactor and do a bunch of research on how I want to get this started. You start damage numbers higher off the ground. I think right now the way they're spawning is they're actually looking at the hit location and then spawning it from there. Actually, hold on. It's the actual like point of impact, but the ground spells shouldn't be using that part of it. Okay, it looks like it is spawning from the ground, the actual hit location from the ground. Yeah, that shouldn't happen. It should only be for projectiles. So that's actually a bug. Yeah, it should be offset by like at least like 50 from ground. Or from like those AoE damage spells. You actually caught something that I did not notice at all. But I'll try 92, because the player height I believe is like 100 or like close to that. So anything that's like right near their head or above it is probably the best way to do it. I would agree. $89. Yeah, just do like one one less. That's why I say 90. Yeah, definitely above the player's head. We probably actually just do that right now. No. I'm not gonna... Hold on. I'll put it in my notes though. But I want to focus on the refactor first. Here. Okay, it's in the notes. Yeah, no, dude. So the thing is, like, if I just like go into like fixing that bug, I'm gonna find like probably like 4 more with spells that I want to work on, and then I'm just gonna get out of focus on what I want to do. I should really just focus on the refactor for the next couple days, and get everything condensed down to a point that I'm happy with it. Did you send over a link for the interfaces as well too? I'd love to look into using that type of system to help communicate components better. I think you just did? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to read into all that, and then I'm going to probably draw up a scheme on what classes need what. Even a templated form? Oh, is it the one that was like the picture, or was it a new message? Discord, don't fail me. Okay, here we go. Key concepts, implementation. Okay, perfect. If you wanna post these up in the Discord as well, for Unreal Engine 5 resources, probably. Well, I guess like this probably falls under C++ in general, so maybe you can put it there. Pretty much wherever you feel like it at this point. Man, I got a list of things to fucking do. Inputs is one. That's another. Refactor is probably going to happen first, and then I'll work on inputs probably. And then a new UI design. Fucking Christ. I feel like I'm an employee that just got to a company and they're just like, hey, we have a fucking outdated interface from the 80s. Do you know how to convert Fortran to C++? I feel like that's what you're asking me to do. Yeah, we have this old database of Fortran. I need you to convert it to C++ for me, thank you. Yeah, no, dude, so like, put it this way, right? A lot of people can just come in here and, you know, like leave comments or like criticize, you know, whatever. I take no criticism to heart whatsoever if it's about like things that would improve or like help me improve as like a programmer. So I'm like more thankful than ever because it's really easy for people to come in here and just either like ignore bad code or like not, you know, like just criticize it without giving like a better direction to go. But you're actually giving like an active direction to push towards with the experience that you've had with it. So like that's like information that you have to like typically pay for. So like I'm eternally grateful that you're, you know, giving time out of your day to help other people. It means a lot. If you ever need help with mass entity, let me know. I spent way too much time looking into that shit too. Oh no. So I don't mean like criticism in a bad way. I know that word gets bad light, but it's more so like criticism in a sense of this is like I see what you're doing and you're doing good, but here's another perspective or like a more efficient way to do it, which is what I love because I love efficiency. My brain just like, for whatever reason, is just drawn to fucking data tables, Excel spreadsheets, numbers, and like performance. So like any of this shit is what I just like feed off of, which is why I love like economy based games or like pretty much any paradox game that's out there. I spent so many hours playing EU4 and just like micromanaging like small countries. It's the shit that I love to do. Yeah, I know how interfaces work, but when to use them is the question that I actually find a lot of people running into, besides myself. By leveraging interfaces, developers can enhance the maintainability, scalability, and collaborative nature of their code with a clear separation of functionality and standardization interactions between classes. Interfaces pave the way for robust modular software development. I do love modular software. Yeah, because interfaces allow you just to have classes that just override in another class. So when you call the interface function on that class, it has its own like code that it can perform. I'm probably going to be signing off to do the refactor, but I'll be on tomorrow, hopefully with a better looking code. Now's the time to actually get it done right. But yeah, I'm going to take pretty much all the information that you gave and, you know, take my shot at it, see what happens. But with that being said, I think we'll cut it short for today. Wasn't really too much going on. And I'll be back tomorrow at 11:30, hopefully with a more organized code base. Let's just put it that way. With that being said, wherever you are, have a great morning, evening, afternoon, or night, and till tomorrow. Peace.